Hey you guys, in today's short video, I would love to tell you a little bit more about some of the ideas that might be inspiring for you when it comes to gifting your friends and family holiday gifts this year. And so, I want to just start off by saying, forgot to put my microphone on. I want to start off by saying that, did you know that in terms of small businesses, 7 out of 10 will fail, okay? And that's a pretty scary statistic if you think about it. So, if you have a friend who has left their full-time job, or a colleague or a family member, and you suddenly don't see them in social life anymore, and you see them all stressed out and sleepless and really sick a lot of the time, it's welcome to the world of small business owners. And so with that, I think I have passed that point where, you never know what's going to happen, but, I'm not a startup anymore. But I can tell you that it's much, much harder to work for yourself and run a small business as compared to having a cushy job and a salary and working for a big company. So with the holidays coming up, it's a critical period for a lot of small businesses. And I want to urge you to support small businesses, whether it's in a form of somebody at if you have farmers markets in your area, some like in Colorado, it's over because it's too cold. And if you have non-chain or independent stores that make something that is, that is unique, that is not part of a chain, I really want to urge you to support these kind of businesses rather than be heading off to, Whole Foods, like Macy's and, and Anthropology and all these companies, because they're huge corporations and they can live without your buck, but you can tremendously shift and support a small business owner who probably will need you, especially this season. This is a time when a lot of businesses depend on business like yours. So I want to, and if you have some ideas that, what are the gift ideas that you have that support small business owners, please do let us know. And with this short video, I would love to feature a few of our partners. And I want to tell you just that, when it comes to selecting these partners, and let me just pop the link to where you can see all these partners. It really is a full-time job. We have a full-time person who is doing nothing else but screening partners. And the way we screen them is that they have to be truthful what they're saying. They have to be using top quality ingredients. They have to be honest to their customers. They have to have excellent customer support. So in case you are not happy with something, you can get a refund or deal with them in a very civil way, right? So yes, Charlie is very impatient. Charlie wants to go and play. We've got nice weather here finally. All right, so I'll just do a little shameless plug here, and it could be anything from, if you have local retailers, great, support them. My other favorite one, if you're looking for something specific, is to go to Etsy, ETSY.com. A lot of Selfmade stuff is there, people who make stuff. It's just amazing. I've bought a number of different gifts that are very specific for friends that needed that. And I also just share with you, or just get something like, my book, which is marked here. My book has changed thousands of people's lives. And we get emails constantly. I get emails from friends saying, I've gifted your friend to a friend and that has changed her life. And so that's it's one of the most rewarding parts of doing this work. And, I want to just talk about a few other ones. Like if you have, for example, friends who are big foodies, something that I've just received yesterday is the membership to the Olive Oil Club. Every quarter, you get 3 bottles from them. This batch here is from Italy. And well, guess what? They just pressed it, right? They pressed it in October, and then you're getting it in December. With olive oil, it's very different from wine, because olive oil, you want it as fresh as possible. Then it's the highest content of polyphenols, which is anti-inflammatory. That's exactly what you want. The stuff that you buy in supermarkets are never going to be as fresh as the bottle that you get from someone who just pressed it 2 months ago, right? Typically in store, you just don't know when it was pressed. It only tells you the expiry date, which is total BS. So the link, you can give the membership to someone, right, who is someone who really appreciates good food. They're gonna love this, and you can get them, like a 3-month membership or whatever. And the link is there on I just posted the link on our page. Speaking of, oils or and versus wines. So again, if you want to get a non-hangover wine, I would really want to encourage you to check out Dry Farm wines. So I just got my batch of 6 bottles, because that's the thing. I've asked them every other month for 6 bottles. Like this one is from Bourg 2019. This one is, I think, also a French one. So I picked all red ones, and they are all biodynamic, natural wines, which means that there's no preservatives in them. They don't give you a hangover. Even people with histamine problems can drink them. So they're pretty amazing. So that's another, whether you buy it for yourself, whether you're buying it for somebody who is a big foodie, that makes it an absolute wonderful present as well. Shifting gears a little bit, like, if you have somebody who's a bit of a hippie and has been doing castor oil packs for a long time, right? Well, guess what? An easy transition is get them the castor oil pack from the Throne of Queens. The difference is that not only is this organic and it's in a bottle, which makes a big difference. We're going to be talking a lot more in the coming year about a lot of greenwashing the companies do, including when they put things into plastic, then a lot of the plastic gets into the oil itself. This one is in bottle, so nothing is going to happen. But the coolest thing of all is the castor oil pack, which is basically the compress. That's the one that makes the whole application of castor oil completely massless, so free of mass. Is basically a compress you infuse the castor oil pack with, and you put that on your liver, and it just makes the whole experience a lot more pleasant. That way you can even wear it throughout the night. Another one is, if you have someone who is dealing with a lot of skincare problems, right, and they are using some real toxic crap from mainstream brands, right, and you kind of want to tell them very subtly, there's still beautiful skincare products out there that are non-toxic and they still smell really good, and most importantly, they work. Then I do suggest to check out Emery Johnny. This is the skincare product behind which we stand. I've got a whole bunch of them, and again, the link is there on the page that I just posted. Another thing I want to share with you. This is just another thing that we featured on a page. If you have someone who's been having sleeping problems, but you also know that this person is sitting behind a computer until late at night, right? And most likely is the white light from the computer or from a screen that is making them, the pineal gland to interfere. The light interferes with melatonin production, and that's what makes them it makes it difficult for them to either fall asleep or stay asleep. Then using red light glasses that block out red light and blue light, right, is something that is super beneficial. So these ones, it's something to wear at night. Some people are so sensitive to light, they have to start wearing it for like 6 p.m. And it can be a real lifesaver. I've gifted this to a couple of people who I know are big, like they have no choice but work till late at night, and this has made a humongous difference. Because instead of then popping melatonin in a supplemental form, which is not the greatest, and you can get addicted to it, you're just basically mitigating that with a simple gift like that. Let me see, is there anything else that I have? Yeah, one more I want to feature. If you have someone who, from Rasa Coffee, if you have someone who is a complete coffee addict, right? And they drink like 5 cups of coffee a day, this is not serving them well. Maybe introduce them to something like Rasa Coffee, which uses, they have Rasa, which is caffeinated, but they also have Rasa, which is the classical one, which is only herbs. And it's a wonderful substitute for coffee. Of course, it's non-caffeinated, but the taste is very similar. And a lot of people report, because of the herbs a lot of them are adaptogens, so they work on the immune system, they work on blood sugar levels. They're actually naturally energizing, but of course, not the same way caffeine would be. But that's another one of our favorite products that we feature that you will also find on that link. All right, so and there's a few other, a lot of other ideas that we have there for you. Check it out. I want to give you a heads up. I'll do another video maybe next week talking about what's coming up in 2020 for us, and what can you expect, and how else we can support you, and maybe tell us also how we can support you. And one of the things that I wanna just share with you is that I'm gonna be doing big exposés on the greenwashing a lot of companies are doing. And greenwashing means that to the consumer, they appear to be really clean. They will use things like, for example, the founder used to work for this and this company, which makes you think, oh, that's great. They are super clean, and then you actually get the product, and it's like, and then they just hide behind a lot of terminologies the FDA does not regulate, or FTC does not regulate. and you as a consumer are suffering from that. And I'm very obviously passionate about it because, like, for example, if you talk about skincare products, one of the things we've been looking for is perfumes, natural perfumes that smell good, that are amazing. And, we've been hitting a wall because the samples that were sent to us, I smell it and right away I know that that's bullshit. It's not essential oils, it's synthetic. And when we contact them, they give us this PR spiel about why synthetic is safe. And so anyway, I'm going to talk a lot more about that because, it's you as a consumer who's getting hurt. Those synthetic, just as an example, these synthetic perfumes are very serious endocrine disruptors, right? Where do we apply, perfumes when we go out, right? It's always here. Well, guess what? That's where the thyroid is, right? Where else do we apply it? We apply it here, right? Which is, that's where you apply your progesterone cream. Why? Because there's a fastest penetration into your lymphatic system, right? And so imagine, like, the same way you're applying these super toxic substances to your skin for quicker penetration that gets into really quickly, resulting in a lot of hormonal problems potentially further down the road. So anyway, so this is exactly what I stand for. It's like, we don't want to be doing things like that. We want to be that filter and a barrier for you so that, when you're ordering these things for your loved ones, family, friends, and for yourself, you're in really good hands. All right, share with us what gift ideas do you have and what have you been gifting? And like I said at the beginning of my video, I really want to urge you to not shop with the mega corporations and, and they can live without your business, but shift gears and support the small businesses, which 7 out of 10 are going to fail. And this is the time really they need your help, because guess what? To keep a product really safe and clean, it's far more expensive. You have less profits on it. It's much more difficult compared to something that you can put a lot of synthetic shit into, okay? All right, I swore, and I know those who will come and bash me, and I'm perfectly okay with that. Wishing you a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next week.